welcome back to another episode of my channel. It's Thursday evening and I'm here for another predictions video for the weekend's Premier League games. We've got some big games coming up on the weekend, so we're going to go for each of them. We're going to go for all the fixtures, including some big ones, and we're going to give you a prediction. I'm doing this a day later because last night there were cup games, so I wanted to watch the cup. I wanted to wait until the cup games that were played last night were over before I made any predictions, because there were teams like Arsenal, West Ham, United were involved in cup football midweek. So I wanted to wait until all those midweek fixtures had ended before I made these predictions, because I want them to be perfect. I want them to be accurate. I want them to be up to date. I don't want any of them to be, I don't want to film this video before the games were played, because I didn't want to, predict someone to win, like predict Arsenal to win and then see. Because if I predicted Arsenal, if you would have told me that Arsenal would have been knocked out last night, I probably wouldn't have believed you. So yeah, I wanted to make sure I was up to date on all the. I was trying to make sure I was up to date on every game and every team's fixtures. So Man United, West Ham, Fulham, Burnley, Everton, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Arsenal, Villa, and Liverpool and Chelsea were all involved in cup action midweek. So I wanted to make sure that they had played their cup games before making any predictions. So let's start with a game on the Saturday. The Saturday early kickoff at 12:30 between Man United as Fulham host Man United. Fulham, no, they had football midweek. They had played who did they play? Fulham played Ipswich. Played Ipswich in the cup. Yes, in the cup yesterday and won 3-1. So yeah, it was Championship, but still. United lost 3-0 to Newcastle and are out and can't defend their title. Can't defend their Carabao Cup trophy title. Fulham are the home side. Man United are in such a bad run of form. I think United come up unstuck against Fulham and will lose for the third game. Running. This decision may come back to haunt me, because somehow, maybe tomorrow, United will somehow play better than they have. Who knows? Man United's performance against Fulham could be one of their best performances this season. But I'm going to back for them to win 1-0. Next up, Brentford West Ham. This is difficult because West Ham lost to Everton but beat Arsenal, and Brentford lost and Brentford beat Chelsea. So it's going to be an interesting pick. It's a London derby, and London derbies are always exciting games. And I think Brentford West Ham will be no different, as it will be an incredible 2-2 draw between Brentford and West Ham. Next up is Burnley, who are obviously in the relegation zone, versus Crystal Palace. This is going to be a boring game. I don't expect many goals, so I'm going to say 1-1. Next up is Everton versus Brighton. Everton, great win against West Ham, and they followed it up. Great win against West Ham, and they followed it up with a convincing win over Burnley in the Carabao Cup yesterday. As for Brighton, they're coming off the back of a defeat to. They're coming off the back of a draw against Fulham and a win against Ajax, so they're on decent form. A win and a draw from the last two games. This is going to be an exciting game between Everton and Brighton. For me, I honestly don't know who I'd back in this game. How good Everton have put in some good performances this season, which is surprising given the fact how bad they were last season. So So yeah. I'm really not sure for Everton Brighton. I'm definitely giving both teams a goal. I'm going to say 3-1 Brighton. Next up, my team, Manchester City, host Bournemouth. Bournemouth picked up their first win. Of the season in the Premier League. And City, obviously, since losing those 2 back-to-back games against Arsenal and Wolves, we've beaten Young Boys. Since losing those 2 back-to-back games against Wolves and Arsenal, we have beaten Brighton, Young Boys, and Man United. After those 2 successive defeats to Wolves and Arsenal, we have managed to go the last 3 games with 3 wins from 3. So 3 wins from 3 for Man City. It's a team who are seemingly, it's my team who are seemingly on the right track against a team that may have picked up their first win in the Premier League against Burnley, but they're not a convincing side. Then it wasn't convincing. 2-1, being a goal down and winning 2-1 wasn't convincing. But then the game that they're going to be playing now is the game that Bournemouth have on the weekend is the hardest game you could possibly play. Man City at home. Because in City's last 21 have gone on a win streak at the Etihad. City are 21 wins from 21. City 21 wins in their last 21 home matches in all competitions. Which, given the fact which is incredible. So yeah, in City's last 21 games in all competitions at the Etihad, we've won all of them, and that trend will stay the same. And Bournemouth are going to have a tough time of it. 5-1. I predicted 5-1 for City against Man United, and I was slightly off. We obviously beat them 3-0, but I was slightly off. Bournemouth, I don't think I'll be off too much. I think 3-0, 4-0 probably will be the actual scoreline. I'm going to say 5-1. I'm going to give Bournemouth a goal because I think they do deserve. I think they do have the ability to score. Sheffield United Wolves. Actually, Wolves will win 3-0. Definitely. Wolves definitely will win 3-0. I don't trust Sheffield United right now. They're just not good enough. They're bottom of the table and they're most likely going to get relegated. So I just don't trust them right now. So yeah, 3-0. Next up is we go to St James's Park for the first big game of the weekend. And that is Newcastle versus Arsenal. Like I said, Arsenal yesterday lost 3-1 to West Ham. While Newcastle yesterday beat Man United 3-0 at Old Trafford. So yeah, they're both Arsenal coming into this game on the back of a defeat, and Newcastle coming into this game on the back of a victory. But to be fair, Arsenal didn't play their full strength team against West Ham. So it's not really. So Arsenal coming into this game on the back of a defeat isn't really significant, given the fact that they weren't playing most of their star players. Odegaard, Saka, and Rice were all on the bench against West Ham. So I can't look too much into that game. But Newcastle did play their full strength team and dominated Man United, smashed them 3-0. This game isn't really known for goals, especially last season. A 0-0 draw between these two teams at St James's Park, and they 2-0 win for Arsenal. Sorry, a 0-0 draw a 0-0 draw between these two at the Emirates, and a 2-0 defeat and a 2-0 win to Arsenal at St James's Park. But today everything changes. Today, Newcastle Arsenal gets a goal fest. Newcastle Arsenal will end 3 apiece. Next up, we've got Sunday's games. We're on to Sunday. And our first game on Sunday is Forest host Aston Villa. Forest, not great. Lost 3-0 to Liverpool. Villa beat Luton 3-1. But again, Nottingham Forest were playing Liverpool, and Liverpool are a good team, and Villa were playing Luton, and Luton aren't great. But I have to back Villa for this, and I'm going to back them comfortably. They will win 2-0. Villa against Forest. Second, our penultimate game of the penultimate game of the week that we're predicting. The penultimate game of the weekend is Luton, who host Liverpool. Luton, other than the Everton game, they've not been great. Liverpool all season have been great and probably deserve to get more points than they actually have. So, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd say Liverpool definitely have deserved more points than they actually have right now. But enough of that. Let's now move to the prediction. I think this is the easiest behind the Man City Bournemouth game. I think this is the easiest to predict, and I'm going to say it will be a drumming. Liverpool go away to Kenilworth Road and win 4-0. And the penultimate game is Tottenham hosting Chelsea, which means we expected it. We were waiting for this to happen. It means Pochettino and Tottenham Hotspur are reunited. Tottenham under Postecoglou are hosting Mauricio Pochettino's Chelsea. This is an interesting game because Chelsea picked up a point against Arsenal, and so did Tottenham. So, if you compared Tottenham and Liverpool, Tottenham and Chelsea together to each other based on their result against Arsenal, you'd say that they're at the same. But then Chelsea did lose 2-0 to Brentford. Tottenham are just on such a good run of form right now. You can't really help but back them. But I think Chelsea will make it very, very difficult, and Tottenham will only win 2-1. So those are my predictions for this weekend's games. We're going to go through them again, and I'm going to give you my goal scorers. So be ready. So now, hopefully you're ready for me to go through each game, give you my score prediction again, and give you what I predicted again, and then give you who I think will score the goals. So, Fulham Man United 1-0 Fulham with Harry Wilson getting the goal. Brentford West Ham. For Brentford it will be Brian Mbeumo and Matthias Jensen, and then for West Ham it will be Mohamed Kudus and Mikel Antonio. Burnley Palace 1-1. For Burnley it will be Lyle Foster, and for Palace it will be Jordan Ayew. Everton Brighton 3-1 Brighton. For Everton Decore, and then for Brighton Ansu Fati and Matoma with 2. Man City Bournemouth 5-1 Man City. A brace for Foden, a brace for Haaland, and a goal for Alvarez for Man City. And then for Bournemouth, Philip Billing. PF United Wolves 3-0 Wolves with a brace from Hwang Hee-chan and a goal from Mateus Cunha. Newcastle live Arsenal. For Newcastle, Callum Wilson off the bench, Alexander Isak, Miguel Almiron and Callum Wilson off the bench. And then for Arsenal, Saka, Rice and Odegaard. Palace, Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa, 2-0 Villa. Watkins with both goals. And then finally, the last, Liverpool, Luton, 4-0 Liverpool. Brace, Mo Salah, goal. And then a goal for Szoboszlai and a goal for Diego Jota. Oh, and I've got to say for that Liverpool, for Liverpool, I've got to mention, obviously, if you've heard the news coming out of Liverpool involving Luis Diaz. The news broke not so long ago, that both Luis Diaz's mum and dad were kidnapped in Colombia, in his hometown, in his home country of Colombia. And while Luis Diaz's mum has been found and recovered, his dad is still missing. So hopefully, Colombia police will be able to find him. I hope Luis Diaz will have his family back. I hope Luis Diaz's family will be safe. And yeah, I just wanted to say my commiserations to Luis Diaz. Hopefully the Colombian police find your dad, because no one should be without their parents. No one should experience their parents being kidnapped. No one should be alone. So hopefully the Colombian police find Luis Diaz's dad, and hopefully once they find him, Luis Diaz's family will be safe, because we live in a world where things like kidnappings do happen, and just when they do happen, you have to make sure you have to make sure that you honor someone. If someone's parents have been kidnapped, it's just hard. It's hard. Like, I don't know what it feels like to have your parents kidnapped, but we live in a world where kidnappings happen. And hopefully, fingers crossed, the Colombian police find Luis Diaz's dad, and hopefully soon, very, very soon, Luis Diaz will have his parents back, both his parents back, because these things will happen. These things do happen. But as long as we make sure we're with a person who experiences this sort of stuff, then that person will go through it. So hopefully, the Colombian police find Luis Diaz's dad, and he'll have both of his parents back. But enough of that. Let's end off this video with giving. Let's end off this video. Tottenham, Chelsea will end 2-1 Tottenham. Goals from Son and Maddison for Tottenham, and then the goal for Chelsea will be scored by Raheem Sterling. So yeah, that's it for this episode of Premier League predictions. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Please put down in the comment section and put down in the comment section. Please put down in the comment section your commiserations about the news of the kidnapping and the finding of his mum. But this is his mum. Hopefully his dad is safe and sound sooner rather than later. But that's it for this video. So subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell to catch up with all my latest videos. Until next week's Champions League predictions, this is Ivan Gibby O'Brien, and I'm out. Peace.